Saint Faustina Kowalska is one of the great mystic saints of the Church. Her encounters with Jesus has made a significant impact on the devotion of the faithful to the unfathomable mercy of God and to His call for us to turn back towards Him. Saint Faustina wrote down many of her visions and encounters with God in her diary. Her diary gives us great insight into the work of God and how each one of us can learn to become holier in the everyday moments of our lives. Today we look at Saint Faustina's encounters with demons and what we can learn about a saint who faces the enemy. In her diary, Saint Faustina often recounted the times when demons or even Satan himself would engage her to either encourage fear in her or to cause her to sin or forget God's help. These encounters provide insight into how we ourselves are tempted by demons, in the little voices we may hear, to turn from God, and the need for us to call on our guardian angel or God to come to our aid. As Saint Faustina grew in holiness, and her prayers and actions towards promoting Jesus' divine mercy began to gain momentum, the demons began to come out into the open to cause her fear. We read in paragraph 411 and 412, "About midday, I entered the chapel for a moment, and again the power of grace struck my heart. As I continued in a state of recollection, Satan took a flower pot and angrily hurled it to the ground with all his might. I saw all his rage and his jealousy. But towards evening, I felt very exhausted and could not make my holy hour, so I asked Mother Superior to allow me to go to bed early. I fell asleep as soon as I lay down, but at about 11 o'clock, Satan shook my bed. I awoke instantly, and I started to pray peacefully to my guardian angel. Then I saw the souls who were doing penance in purgatory. They appeared like shadows, and among them I saw many demons. One of these tried to vex me. Taking the form of a cat, he kept throwing himself onto my bed and on my feet, and he was quite heavy, as if weighing a ton. I kept praying the rosary all the while, and toward dawn, these beings vanished, and I was able to get some sleep. When I entered the chapel in the morning, I heard a voice in my soul. 'You are united to me, fear nothing. But know, my child, that Satan hates you. He hates every soul, but he burns with a particular hatred for you, because you have snatched so many souls from his dominion.' Further along, in paragraph 418 and 419, we begin to see how Saint Faustina combats the demons by calling on a guardian angel for help. When the sermon was over, I did not wait for the end of the service, as I was in a hurry to get back home. When I had taken a few steps, a great multitude of demons blocked my way. They threatened me with terrible tortures, and voices could be heard. 'She has snatched away everything we have worked for over so many years.' When I asked them, 'Where have you come from in such great numbers?' the wicked forms answered, 'Out of human hearts, stop tormenting us.' Seeing their great hatred for me, I immediately asked my guardian angel for help. And at once the bright and radiant figure of my guardian angel appeared and said to me, 'Do not fear, spouse of my Lord. Without his permission, these spirits will do you no harm.' Immediately the evil spirits vanished, and the faithful guardian angel accompanied me in a visible manner right to the very house. His look was modest and peaceful, and a flame of fire sparkled from his forehead. We can glean many things from those passages, namely, that when Saint Faustina encounters the demons, she is not perturbed and openly questions them. Then she calls on her angel for help, an example for us all that our angel can help us during times of fear or temptation. Finally, we hear the angel saying that the demons can do nothing to us without permission from God. In paragraph 540, we learn that even using holy images in our minds can turn demons away, such as the sign of the cross. In the evening, when I was writing, I heard a voice in my cell which said, "Do not leave this congregation. Have mercy upon yourself. Such great sufferings are in store for you." When I looked in the direction of the voice, I saw nothing, and I continued to write. Suddenly, I heard a noise and the words, "When you leave, we will destroy you. Do not torture us." I glanced around and saw many ugly monsters. So mentally, I made the sign of the cross, and they disappeared immediately. How terribly ugly Satan is. The poor damned souls that have to keep him company. Just the sight of him is more disgusting than all the torments of hell. On many occasions we read that Satan is infuriated by the prayers and work of Saint Faustina relating to the Divine Mercy. He sees that this work will convert many souls away from him, and he wishes he could stop her, but for the protection of God. In paragraph 713 we read, "This evening, as I was writing about this great mercy of God and its great advantage to soul, Satan rushed into my room with great anger and fury. He seized the screen and began to break and crush it. I was a little frightened at first, but immediately made the sign of the cross with my little crucifix, and the beast fell quiet and disappeared at once." Again we read in paragraph 1167, "Satan has admitted to me that I am the object of his hatred. He said that 1,000 souls do me less harm than you do when you speak of the great mercy of the Almighty One. The greatest sinners regain confidence and return to God, and I lose everything. But what is more, you persecute me personally with that unfathomable mercy of the Almighty One." I took note of the great hatred Satan has for the mercy of God. He does not want to acknowledge that God is good. And in paragraph 1338, we read of Satan's hate for her diary. As I write these words, I hear the cry of Satan, "She's writing everything, she's writing everything, and because of this we are losing so much. Do not write about the goodness of God. He is just." And howling with fury, he vanished. This should give us hope in that, with God's help and that of our guardian angel, the demons can be confounded. But what is the powerful weapon that Saint Faustina has in these attacks? We learn of the weapon of humility. We read in paragraph 320 her humble response to the demons. "Jesus made known to me how very pleasing to him were prayers of atonement. He said to me, 'The prayer of a humble and loving soul disarms the anger of my Father and draws down an ocean of blessings.' After the adoration, halfway to my cell, I was surrounded by a pack of huge black dogs who were jumping and howling and trying to tear me to pieces. I realized that they were not dogs but demons. One of them spoke up in a rage. 'Because you have snatched so many souls away from us this night, we will tear you to pieces.' I answered, 'If that is the will of the most merciful God, tear me to pieces, for I have justly deserved it, because I am the most miserable of all sinners, and God is ever holy, just, and infinitely merciful.' To these words all the demons answered as one, 'Let us flee, for she is not alone. The Almighty is with her.' And they vanished like dust, like the noise of the road, while I continued on my way to my cell undisturbed, finishing my Te Deum and pondering the infinite and unfathomable mercy of God. And in paragraph 450, Saint Faustina sums up the importance of humility when dealing with the demons. Oh, how sweet it is to toil for God and souls. I want no respite in this battle. But I shall fight to the last breath for the glory of my King and Lord. I shall not lay the sword aside until he calls me before his throne. I fear no blows, because God is my shield. It is the enemy who should fear us, and not we him. Satan defeats only the proud and the cowardly, because the humble are strong. Nothing will confuse or frighten a humble soul.